Welcome to the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to make them liberals mad. Cause freedom of speech is what us individuals have. It's the gift when we gab, talking about things that the brainwash cannot mentally grasp. Like staying loud and waving our American flags. This is for the free thinkers, wearing their MAGA and wearing the cags. Draining the swamp is the ultimate goal, but the sheeple will swear it's a fad. Like it's just a phrase. But when we show them the facts, the fools got nothing to say. And deep government state wanna get up in our face, but hasn't done it yet cause Trump's in the way, trying to protect us from a troublesome fate. And because of that, we'll never lose our faith, plus God keeping us cool and safe. But I still hope we get 4 more years so we can throw a huge parade. I can see it now, Patriots on a float, and POTUS will go down in history as one of the GOATs. For making the swamp pay for taking every one of his votes. His enemies are the cancer, whether or not Trump give him the smoke. Now relax it back and take notes, as we kick facts with the homie Ray though. Speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we ain't even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. I said, speak your mind in the Patriots Lab. It's freedom time in the Patriots Lab, where we not even trying to, we make them liberals mad. Speak your mind. It's freedom time. Without even trying to, we make them liberals mad.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Let me get it in here. Good afternoon, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. Welcome to Friday afternoon chat. Let me get it into the right screen here. Got so many things going on at the same time. Don't know exactly where I am at the moment. Let me make sure everything is working. But while I do that, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you can get those instant notifications. We are on X today. It's been a minute since I've had the live on X, but we are here. And if I can get this thing to cooperate with me. We are on Twitch this morning. Well, this afternoon. So we got Facebook in the house, we got YouTube in the house, we got Twitch in the house, and we got X in the house today. Everybody, say hello to everybody. So, I also sent out some links. I should be having some wonderful people joining me during the course of the day. But as we know, let me make sure I'm up, and I am running on X. Yep, we are good up on X. Got to cover all your bases because you know how they are. They'll try to just mess with you and you won't even know it before you know it's too late. But I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I hope you had a great week. We are getting into the week and it's Friday, all day fun day. Drop the comments, but most important of all, like, share, and subscribe, and ring that bell so you can get them instant notifications. But in the meantime, in between time, we're going to get into our first video, and then you know how we do. I'll get back up on it. But it's funny how things that sometimes you think turn out for bad wind up for good. So we had this young man a couple of weeks ago. He rolled up on the school grounds, and he had his red, white, and blue. Y'all probably seen the blue beat up truck. His pickup truck had the red, white, and blue just flying proudly from the back. And they came up with all kind of excuses why he needed to take it down and things of that nature. But I want to kick off today with a good story, because I love it when things that people mean for bad turn out for good. But I'm going to let the story say it for itself, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Let me get it to the beginning. There you go.
Who fought to keep his American flag on his truck not only ended up being able to do that, but was also honored by the community.
Yeah, and now that same truck got a makeover. Fox 19 Now's Taylor Davis has the update on this story. honestly couldn't believe it was the same truck by the time it was done.
Cameron Blasek couldn't believe his eyes. It was the same truck, but completely transformed.
And I still can't believe it that happened in the first place.
When we first reported this story, the truck was blue and it was about a fight to keep this flag. But now the flag is here to stay and the truck is making an even bolder statement.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy that, I get to pull up to school in this thing now.
Blasek, a senior at East Central High School in St. Leon, says the blue truck he got at 14, the one that became a symbol of his fight for flying the American flag, is now a stunning display of red, white, and blue.
Happy to show off that American pride that I've always been showing since day one.
It all became a reality after school administrators told him to remove the flag, claiming it violated school rules. Blasek argued his case and the school quickly relented.
I was watching the news and then saw that the school was made him take down his flag.
His story doesn't end there. It caught the attention of GCI Digital Imaging. Impressed by his determination, the company offered a free makeover. In just a week, with the help of others, they turned his truck into a giant American red flag on wheels.
He stood his ground, and my buddy Brian and I felt very strong that we needed to back this kid up.
The story also American Legion, who donated $3,000 to Blasek. He's currently planning a positive way to use the money. Taylor Davis, Fox 19 Now.
You know, the first time we did this story, it went viral. This follow-up went viral. It's all over Twitter right now. There are 5 companies that actually got involved to make this happen. If you go onto my Facebook page or on my...
Wonderful story. Love it. Could have found other ways to start the show off, but I just love it when you try to do bad to somebody. And notice he had multiple people ready to service his truck and wrap his truck just to show their gratitude for how he took his stance. So out of all of those, one company did it. So if the other companies want to wrap my BMW, get a hold of me. But hey, great job. Great job, young man, for standing your ground. That's the future. And with young men like that, the future looks bright. With young men like that, the future is looking bright. So where do we go? This is where I want to go. Now, I like it when I can see different attitude adjustments coming from people that I always knew was smarter than what they're appearing to be. Talking about a gentleman by the name of Stephen A. Smith. Started following Stephen A. on ESPN. And he was a solid dude. He didn't have the attitude and outlooks that he got now back then. But then I seen a shift with this Trump derangement syndrome shit that was going on and still going on. But now I got to give Stephen A. little bit credit. Because he's finally, and he's been doing it for a minute, he's finally, I guess, decided that it wasn't really worth it anymore. Good afternoon, Jen, the homeschooling mom. It wasn't really worth it for him anymore. But what I don't like, Stephen A., bro, if you going to decide to come back to the right side, you can't walk the fence with it, bro. You can't walk the fence. You've always been a straight shooter. You can't walk the fence just to try to save your job and all that stuff. Say what you want to say, bro. You're pointing out the actual and the factual. Say how you really feel, but then don't try to not burn bridges. Burn them damn bridges. Them bridges ain't no good for you anyway. You've already made a name for yourself, so you ain't gotta rely on nobody. You ain't got to piggyback off nobody. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and play this clip, and then we're going to get Jen involved in this conversation with Mr. Stephen A. Smith, someone who seemingly decided that he's ready to come back to reality. Where are we at? Where are we at with Stephen A? Stephen A, you don't run. Come back here.
Back to some tweets and calls and all of this stuff. I got to touch on this subject right here. A recent Wall Street Journal opinion piece entitled "The High Price of Democrats' Anti-Trump Lawfare," written by Daniel Henninger, spoke of how most Americans believe the rule of law is better than the law of the jungle, but how that could change. According to Henninger, the newest buzzword in politics is lawfare, or using the legal system as a weapon against a political opponent. Henninger questions how many lawsuits, court motions, and judgments against Donald Trump the Democratic Party can actually chow down on. He also ponders about the high price the American system may pay for all of this in excess. Let me tell you something. It was a great opinion piece. I completely agree with Daniel Henninger of the Wall Street Journal, the opinion piece that he wrote in there, because we've got to get to a point where we're saying when's enough's enough. Donald Trump.
Why should the migrants have everything
I
provided
apologize.
to them in our
Y'all know how
expense?
y'all get it.
I tried
And I didn't
claiming the
want to do that
spending
to
card that
Stephen
they
A,
are.
but here he is.
Made a very salient point. I know you don't hear me say that often, but
No,
it's
we
true.
don't.
He made a very salient point a couple of weeks ago, or I think it was in the immediate aftermath of Super Tuesday, when he was talking about President Biden, and he was saying, you know, come beat me. Stop trying to use the legal system in order to pull it off. Now, obviously, President Biden would say it has nothing to do with me. He's the president of the United States. He's not the prosecution in Georgia. He's not the prosecutor in New York. Okay, he has nothing to do with those things. So he may say, maybe it's true. But I find it very, very difficult to believe that everybody on the Democratic side is innocent. I mean, when you look at the inordinate amount of charges that are coming Trump's way, I mean, when is enough's enough? E. Jean Carroll awarded.
Before we let him get into this, Jen, do you see how he's trying to walk the fence?
Yes.
Maybe it's not true. You do. You know, it's you just described the weaponization that he's using, and then you're gonna sit back and say, well, maybe it's not true.
Wow.
Good morning, Jen. How are you, dear?
Good to see you. He is a trailblazer. Be proud of what you're doing. You don't have to kowtow to anybody to just make everything peaceful. No, be yourself, blaze your trail, carry the country with you. It's a melting pot. Don't try to side with one side because you think it's easier. There's nothing easy. And that's what Trump always said too. Trump always talked about the outsiders, and that those are the ones that we need right now because they're not all part of the same bland lump of the left. Don't be bland. Be a trailblazer and be spice.
You can see he wants to come out his skin so bad. You can see it. He's pointing out the actual and factual, but he's scared to make that final step. Let's continue and see what this man has to talk about. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Dottie Estates, James Gilbert, Brady, Maddie, Darrell, Laura Lee, all the way in Arizona, is in the building this morning.
Awesome.
$83.3 million in a defamation suit against Trump. Okay. By the way, New York judge Arthur Egeron ordered Trump to pay a total of $450 million in a civil fraud trial over valuations of his net worth. New York State Attorney Letitia James says if the massive bond isn't posted, she'll seize Mr. Trump's New York buildings. This is according to the article in the Wall Street Journal. We know about what's happening in Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, all right, regardless of her own stuff going on with her and somebody else. Mr. Wade is also an attorney that she utilized to go after Trump, but that's a different subject for another day.
See how he just glanced over that, regardless of what. See, so he already know that she just gone through some crazy stuff. But hopefully, I can take Stephen A. at his word when he says he'll save it for another day. Come on, Stephen A. You coming back? You coming back to the light, bro? You coming back? You reminded me why I started watching you about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when you used to keep it the actual and factual.
We've got going on here right now. She goes after 18 other defendants for violating the state's Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act in connection with the 2020 presidential election. The presiding judge dismissed 6 of the 41 counts. This is all according to the article here. You got Colorado, Maine, and Illinois took various legal actions to ban Mr. Trump from the 2024 presidential ballot. Efforts recently blocked by a unanimous Supreme Court decision. They got a 6-3 majority, 6 conservatives, 3 liberals, but unanimously they blocked this effort by Colorado, Maine, and Illinois. You got the special counsel, Jack Smith, going after Trump on trial for a set of federal charges, one over possession of classified documents, another for the former president's actions the day of the 2021 Capitol riot. Okay, that issue is still up.
You know, Jen, you know why I like this, not like it, but you know why I love it more than anything is because Stephen A. Smith has such a hold on the Black community. There are so many people that he influences. My thing is, I'm waiting to see the backlash. Just for him strictly pointing out the actual and the factual now to his people.
Right. That's good.
You know, because I've been trying to do it, but you know, I'm just a low man on the totem pole.
Right.
You know, but here's a man that's had street credibility with the Black man, at least on the basketball court wise, at least talking basketball. But now we're going to see how deep how deep their loyalty really lies with this man now that he's starting to talk political. See, when he first got into the political ring, he wasn't talking like this. He was, you know, talking crazy. But I guess a person can only stomach so much. What do you think?
I just want to hear him say something good and sound and influential. You're right. I can tell. Look at the way he's dressed. He's fine. He looks good. Say something factual. Get people to vote. Say, let's take back our country. Don't even worry about 91 indictments. It's getting stupid. Someone's going to have.
Listen to him. He's going to answer. He's going to do exactly what you told him to do.
And in the meantime, we've got a situation where a guy by the name of Robert Hur, a classified document special counsel investigating President Biden, ultimately exercised prosecutorial discretion, saying the current president isn't exonerated, but won't be prosecuted.
See how he said that?
The situation involving Joe Biden to the court of public opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much to get into. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to simply say this. Trump is kicking the Democrats, you know what? 91 charges.
I know.
4 indictments, 91 counts against him. He's been impeached twice.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month?
Top
Well,
interrupted
they make
the
this
show.
kind of
And he still ran away with the GOP nomination. It was a cakewalk. DeSantis couldn't beat him. Christie couldn't beat him. Nikki Haley couldn't beat him. Vivek Ramaswamy couldn't beat him. They can't touch him.
They can't touch this.
And we're still waiting for him to go to jail. We're
Stephen
still
A.
waiting for him because supposedly he's done so much. Russian collusion. Remember all of that?
Tell him, Stephen A.
We're still waiting for the jury. We're still waiting for the guilty verdict. We're still waiting for him to be incarcerated. We're still waiting for him to be seen.
See, he speaks like a man that knows they were all lies, Jen.
Yes, he does. He's good. That's good.
He speaks like a man that knows they're all lies.
I'm waiting for him to say there's no proof. You can't prove nothing, but I don't know if he will.
In zebra stripes, you can't touch him.
Right.
And now he's throwing this salvo. He said, yo, why don't you come beat me? Stop engaging in lawfare and using the legal system to push your political agenda. Come beat me. That's what he did. I do sports most of the time. That's the kind of language we want to hear, ain't it? Can you beat him or not? You gonna beat him? 4 different polls show that Joe Biden is trailing, that Trump is gaining momentum.
Right.
You can look at the right and talk about their commitment to Biden's cognitive decline narrative. The fact of the matter is, in half of America's eyes, Trump is seen as damn near criminal. And he's still collecting more campaign dollars and more votes. He is the GOP nominee. I believe it's his daughter-in-law that's about to be the head of the Republican National Committee.
Right.
If she isn't already.
Lara Trump.
Are you going to stop him or not? This article is a very profound one. The high price of Democrats' anti-Trump lawfare, because when the legal system is utilized this way and people see you getting away with trying to cause all of this ruckus towards him, as opposed to simply beating him at the polls, that gives them additional fodder to question the legal system.
Yeah.
Boom.
That
So,
was good.
if y'all want to see the rest, y'all go ahead and check out Stephen A. Smith. I never thought I'd be promoting what the brother is selling, but hey, I am buying it at a discounted
good.
price right now. So y'all go check Stephen
good.
A. out, because for some reason he decided to come back home. He decided to come back home, but I ain't gonna take up the whole show with it. How are you, Jen? How's everything? Talk to the people, patriots, whoever they consider themselves to be. But first, let's welcome everybody. James Gilbert, Dottie Estates, Don Tershman, and we are rolling on X today, along with Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. We in the building. Hello, Jen.
Hi, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Thank you for watching. This is great. I love to hear him. I love his conviction. I love how powerful he is. That's great. People need to listen to him. Seriously, 91 convictions. How can people not help but think this is election interference? This is crazy. Did you know Charles Manson had what, 10 indictments? And they've given 91 to Trump. I mean, just gloss over the fact that we had a booming economy. There was no talk of electric vehicles. And if there was, it was cool because you had money and you could buy a Tesla, but you weren't forced to. And then this paying off the colleges. If you're going to be encouraged to buy, how much are those electric vehicles? 60,000? Like,
too much money.
Yeah. But you're going to get your college paid for? That's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. If it looks upside down and it doesn't make sense, it's because it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Just know if you're for Trump, you're on the right side. We actually had a stock market. All the guy had to do was come on the screen and I don't know what he was doing. He stopped at a hotel for one of his granddaughter's birthday parties. And you look at the Dow and I'm like, what the heck? They got a photo op of him hugging his granddaughter, and the Dow Industrial stock market flies up. And I'm like, why? Because you saw Donald Trump. As long as the man is in action, it blesses the economy. So if you care about money, go for Trump. I mean, he does so many other good things, but it's ridiculous. So it's good. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. Stephen A., you got me pumped up. You got me so pumped today, Stephen. I had to go get one more for you, bro.
I love
Got me feeling good, but I ain't gonna let you take up all the time.
Comments on a quote bloodbath if he's not reelected? I've got several thoughts on that matter, plus calls, tweets, and then some up next. It's Steve A's show. Don't go anywhere. It pertains to the auto industry. The matter is, when you watch the headlines talking about Donald Trump, they were mischaracterizing his comments. Yes, he said what he said, but it was taken completely out of context because he was talking about the auto industry and business with China, and how if he's not elected, it's going to be problematic in terms of doing business with China as it pertains to the auto industry. I don't take it back. I ain't backing up 1 inch.
Good.
What the hell is going on here? Let me tell y'all something. I'm really getting sick and tired of people mischaracterizing my quotes. This is the beauty of having my own platform and saying what I want to say and what I need to say, only for the perspective of quoting me accurately and contextualizing what I say accurately. Then do what you want. But any given time that I want to, when you mischaracterize what I say, I'm going to come back at your ass. That's what I'm going to do. Let me be very, very clear. For all of you Democrats out there that swear up and down,
Y'all thought I
I'm
was
some
bad?
damn Trump supporter because I call it like I said. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I didn't vote for Trump in 2020, and I damn sure ain't going to vote for him in 2024.
This is where he
and
loses.
If you really want my history, let me take it a step further. I voted for Michael Dukakis versus H.W. Bush. Even when he tried to hoodwink everybody and use those Willie Horton ads that ultimately worked for.
Now, what y'all gotta do is pay close attention. Basically, what he's saying is, I voted the plantation my whole life.
Wow.
That's it. That's all he knows. That's all I knew. But if you listen to what he's saying, you know he know better. I knew better. And what's the saying? If you know better, do better.
Do better.
Stephen A., you got to do better, bro.
I voted for Bill Clinton, not once, but twice. I voted for Al Gore. That's the first time I heard about
plantation.
Jeez, so Pete,
Now,
you're
one
right.
thing about policy, plantation mentality. Go ahead and wrap it up, Steve.
You know, what is it? What is it? Leaning Chads at the voting booth? Hanging Chads, rather? I don't know this stuff, but I voted for Al.
See? He don't know.
He just does what he... Wow.
He don't know. He just voted.
So smart. Yeah,
Yes, I
you got...
did. I voted for John Kerry. Yes, I did. And you damn right I voted for Barack Obama, not once, but twice. And I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Oh, bless your heart.
Democratic plantation mentality on full display.
Wow.
With the IQ that he obviously has of intellect and common sense. Put it to you, Stephen A.
And I voted for Joe Biden, despite the crime bill.
Now, that right there, that's when you know it's deeply embedded. Because what he literally basically said, I don't care how many of my brothers you locked up. Now, this is, you got to listen, you got to know something about Stephen A. This is one of the people that cries over our brothers being wrongfully incarcerated, cries over the injustice on how we're not treated equally. And in the same breath, he's going to say, I voted for the man who did all this shit to us. That is the Democratic plantation slave mentality.
Wow.
Doing favors for people that don't do shit and ain't got your best interests at heart. Because he just admitted it. He basically said, I voted for the person that locked up all my brothers. Sorry about that.
Leading to mass incarceration for minorities in this country. Although it was,
I guess he's letting his stupidity show right now. Yes, Stephen A., I said it. You know why? Because I want you and me, one-on-one, Stephen A., because you can't ride the ride, bro. You can't walk the fence, bro. You either gonna be in or you gonna be out. And if don't nobody else call you out about your in-ness, outness,
fence, right? Waffle.
yeah, you just want to ride the fence. You just want to ride, bro. You've earned your own ticket. You've wrote your own ticket. You've punched your own ticket. Keep it 1,000, bro. Keep it 100. Don't do the 50-50. Don't do the 60-40. Don't do the 70-30, bro. Keep it 100.
entirely his fault because you had the Congressional Black Caucus pushing him to do it. But he bragged about how it was his bill, until it wasn't politically expedient for him to do so. I've been voting for Democrats, but hey, I'm a fair-minded individual. And when Republicans make sense, I'm going to give them credit for it. When they're right about something, I'm going to give them credit for it. There's plenty of Republicans other than Trump that I would have voted for, and I wouldn't have apologized for it because I don't happen to disagree with every conservative policy.
But you know why that's a bold-faced lie right there?
Why?
Because to this day, there is no Democrat, including Stephen A. Mr. Smith, that has a good enough policy reason not to vote for Donald J. Trump. That right there is pure hatred. He's not going to come out and say it, so I'm going to come out and say it for him. That's just pure hatred.
Wow.
Because everything Donald Trump has done is what any businessman would do. And if it was not so, as much as this administration and this government hates him, he would be in jail right now. So I don't focus on the lies and the bullshit. I don't have time for it. It takes too much energy. And Stephen A., I hope you get tired sooner or later and you don't exhaust all your energy on riding the fence, because I'm gonna tell you right now, bro, it's gonna get tiring. But I just want to show another clip because, you know, I guess I'll take a little bit. If I can't have a whole pig, I guess I'll take a hind quarter or some shit like that. I guess I got what I can get when it comes to Stephen A. And hopefully, as time progresses, this thing will go on and on. Barbie 45 Mega Woman is in the building. I don't know. You're probably talking to Jen.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. That's awesome.
And 47.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so y'all can get them instant notifications. But it's crazy. I just want, I guess I got to take what I can get. How do you think about, could you see it in him? Could you see on one hand how he wants to bring out the actual and factual, but you also see how he's trying to cover his hide?
He was having an inner struggle. It sounds terrible, but you could tell he was having an inner struggle. His mouth was saying what he was trained to say, but deep down in his heart, in his stomach, in the pit of his stomach, he knows he wants the border closed. He wants his family protected. He wants his stuff protected. It's crazy. He wants to make money and keep it, not give half of it he doesn't. You can tell. He's a smart guy, but he's in a struggle. I don't know, a quandary. I don't know how to say. He's a mess. It's hard because they say an unstable man. How do they say that? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that's what he's dealing with right now. He knows what he wants, but he knows what he's trained to say. And it's so hard. But yeah, he'll get it. He'll get it. He has to. He's smart.
I think he's scared of experiencing cancel culture. But he needs to understand that Patriot Nation will embrace him and shoot his plateau up to places it's never been. But as long as he keeps riding the fence, man. But I'm just glad he's able to show his frustration. See, because that's things you can't hide. He's speaking with such vitriol and such frustration when he's talking about the administration and what's happening, what's going on. And I'm glad he's portraying that out to his audience. He's educating them. But you heard when he was talking about the feedback in the beginning of the segment, the feedback he was getting from people, and he didn't care. And we was talking about that in his last clip. I wonder when the negativity is going to, just for him stating the facts.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Maybe what he was afraid of is happening. He's like, I don't want to experience this. But you've already jumped into the deep end, bro.
Right. Oh my God. Is he married? Because his wife will encourage him. I'm sure she will. Unless he's just
No,
really.
I don't believe Stephen A. married. Stephen A. Smith, I believe, is a bachelor. I know he used to date Molly. I don't know if he's still dating Molly. You know, he's into that circle. He's into that circle.
Okay.
But moving right along, you're gonna love this one. Look, I don't know what possessed these people to encourage. Maybe it was let's maybe he thought he was about to have a kumbaya moment. Maybe his people was like, you know what? If they're not gonna come and reach out to you, I got the brilliant idea. Why don't you go to them? Even though they hate you and they want to kill you,
Oh.
you go see them. And we're gonna go right into it, and then we're gonna talk about it, because for some reason, I really don't know what possessed his people to think this was gonna go down really well.
Kyle Rittenhouse at the University of Memphis as protesters inside booed him, yelled, and disrupted him until his time on stage was cut short. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Greg is off tonight. WREG's Ashley Paul was outside as all of this unfolded. And Ashley, there was just as much going on outside as inside.
Steph, it was absolutely chaotic out there. Now, hundreds of people, and I'm talking hundreds, it was packed out there. We're out there to protest the appearance of Kyle Rittenhouse tonight.
Now, before we go off the rails, I don't blame them kids down there at the U of M. I don't blame them. Why Kyle Rittenhouse people? Kyle Rittenhouse just got finished shooting up some folk in self-defense.
Bad guys too, yeah.
And we see what the black community wanted to do to him. So why? Who came up with the brilliant idea to send him to the hood?
Oh my gosh.
It's like, did he think he was Little Red Riding Hood going, and the big bad wolf wasn't going to appear? Oh my goodness, we're going to talk about it, but let them finish so you can get the context.
At the University of Memphis. And after watching a lot of viewer video from inside the appearance, there were by a long shot more people outside than inside protesting this. And we're told when all was said and done, Rittenhouse was only on stage for about 30 minutes. Members of the University of Memphis campus organization Turning Point USA chased out of the UC Theater tonight, followed by hundreds of protesters, just moments after Kyle Rittenhouse was booed off the stage inside.
Help me welcome Kyle Rittenhouse.
This man is real violent, and you had many people who told me they don't even feel comfortable being on campus today.
Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted of killing 2 men and wounding another during a Black Lives Matter rally in Kenosha, Wisconsin back in 2020. Viewers who were inside the theater tonight tell us there were only about 50 to 75 people there to hear Rittenhouse speak in person, and most of them, she says, were there in protest. And outside, a similar tune, as people made sure to let Kyle Rittenhouse know they didn't want him here.
I think it's awful and just baffling, and that they just allow this, because this is borderline free speech. This is more towards hate speech.
Rittenhouse was invited to the University of Memphis by the campus organization Turning Point USA. In a statement to WREG sent last week from their national headquarters, they tell us, quote, attempts to cancel or censor events like these only serve to stifle the exchange of ideas and limit the intellectual diversity to which students are exposed, end quote. And while they were definitely the minority in the crowd, there were absolutely people here who agreed. This is freedom of speech, and they are in favor of it.
Cameron Worms.
Wow.
Says it right. TPUSA used him. Look, I don't got a problem with trying to get him to, speak with the other side and things of that nature. But are you really gonna throw him to the wolves like that? Couldn't you start it out at y'all sent the boy to Memphis? It sounds like a setup to me.
Wow.
It sounds like a setup, because you mean to tell me nobody at Turning Point USA said, "Hey, this might not be a good idea to send them to the home of young Dolph.
Wow.
It might not be a good idea to send him down to Gangbanger City. It might not be a good idea to send him down close to the #1 murder capital per capita." No, that's not what they said.
Ugh. Oh, obviously he was going to spread I'm guessing, I didn't hear his speech, no one did, it was so loud in there, but to spread the American dream, the American vision, protect your land, protect your people, regardless of the color, just like Martin Luther King said, or was it Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "Don't judge me by my color, but judge me by the content of my character." And perhaps is what he was trying to do, but he is I mean, I wouldn't I'm paler than him, dear God, don't do that.
You got a question, Jen. Can you see that?
Yes. Let's see.
Say, look,
Is he an
he's a young
expert?
kid who was thrust into the spotlight. Is he an expert in anything? What value did he bring?
Okay, I have two answers to that. First of all, he was exercising he was exercising his First Amendment of free speech and got shut down. He was exercising his Second Amendment when he shot those 2 guys, and the guys he shot were
Oh
pedophiles.
no, I would have did that shit. I'm trying to figure out what can of worms is talking about. Are you talking about what value did he bring going to the University of Memphis to speak? None. I think that was a setup. But I totally respect why he went to go help them people in Kenosha. If I live in a town, if I got to go somewhere to help because people want my help and I'm going, because what he did basically was 1000% self-defense.
Right.
I'm not letting nobody whoop my ass and take my gun and either pistol whip me or shoot me. Come on, that's common
No.
sense. I'd have
Right.
shot every last. I'd have shot more people than he shot. To be honest with you, I'd have shot a pathway up out that motherfucker. That's what I'd have did. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You in my
Wow.
way, I'm running. I'm getting up out of there.
Yeesh. Wow, and another thing he did, because he was so pale, maybe they were first of all, they're frustrated with him because he's so white and they're so black, and obviously they're playing the race card, but he shot these 2 bad guys who were white at a BLM protest. It was a BLM organized thing, and this white guy comes in with a machine gun. What was it? An AR? I don't know. It was a gun, and he took out 2 bad guys, and they're like mad at him.
Cameron Worms is right. It was just what you was talking about, Jen. He don't understand why he was a speaker at the events. He's being used as a pawn.
Yeah.
Now, see, suppose some real shit would have happened, and he didn't make it out of Memphis.
Oh gosh.
What do you think that would have caused? Race war? Race riot?
Worse than it is now. Yeah. Why in the world did they put him there? That was stupid. I mean, I understand if it's in Wisconsin, 'cause that's where this happened, that's where he's from. And he's a dual citizen. I don't know, he's what, Wisconsin and Illinois? I don't know. So I get that. But why is he in Tennessee? That was so wrong on every level. Who thought that would be good? We're
I
obviously
don't know.
we're not at the point where we're the melting pot. I mean, that's what we used to be, but it's not like that right now. So someone's just trying to fan the flame. It's bad. That was really racist.
You are right. You are right. Well, it seems, before we go any further, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so we can hit them instant notifications. We are on Twitch and X today, along with Facebook. and YouTube. And a little sad news. They disconnected my Rumble account from my YouTube account, and it being heck to get back in there to it. But this is what America's coming to. Things that I'm about to show you right now would have never happened under Trump. Never. And I can just say, and we still have a president that sits idly by and watches this. And there's no words that are needed. Everything is self-explanatory. That's our southern border. I tell you what we're gonna do. Act like you don't know what this is.
Okay.
And we're gonna play a game. Name this country.
Oh my gosh.
Is it Somalia?
Wow.
Is it
Yeah.
Haiti? Is it Africa? Is it Nigeria? And I point those out because it's a dark-skinned people. So name this country.
Yeah, that's definitely Nigeria, Morocco, Yemen. Yeah, definitely.
No,
And which
that's
one?
America.
What? Yemen is America?
No, that's America.
Oh, that bless God, I know what you're saying. Okay. It's scary. I know. Besides the guys in fatigues that are American soldiers, that's that guy. Oh my gosh. In the White House, the resident, he's got blood on his hands.
You wouldn't know where this was taking place. And the only thing our troops can do is say, "Get the F back!" Dude, they just broke through your first barrier. Why are you even wasting your breath? Let off some buckshots.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
That first barrier. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barry.
How can people sleep at night? Especially down there after seeing some shit like that. And our administration does nothing to deter this.
No.
And actually, they processed 300 of them and they released them into the states with a court date that could be 3-4 years. Those are the people. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, that first barrier they came against, that they pushed down, ran over, threw to the side. That was a Jersey wall. Those are the barriers that the regime, the Biden administration, is saying are proper. Those are humane. They're not permanent. They can be moved. Well, duh, it's a wall for a reason. And that was ridiculous. But to see how flimsy it was and how easy it was for a group that large to move and push down and go up to the next one, dear God, he has made the biggest humanitarian crisis I've ever seen in this country. That's scary. It's terrible.
I'm sorry we got to bring this to you, but y'all must know what's going on. And it's always one thing after another, after another, after another. We was talking about something the other day. How come it's always... Hold on one second. Hold on. Where am I at? Got the video going before I want to, because I'm talking. Slow down. How come every time something major happens and it's connected to America in a negative way, it's always got to be a coincidence. Jen, after we play the video, I'm going to let you take this one and give them your 3-4 cents, whatever you see fit, because I know you got something to say.
Well, DHS dropping the ball. A new report claiming the department's paperwork errors prompted judges to throw out 200,000 deportation cases. Good morning. I'm Dana Perino. Bill is off today. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning to you, Dana. They couldn't find anybody else, so they reached out to me.
We're glad to have you.
I'm John Roberts, and this is America's Newsroom. Those botched cases all happening on President Biden's watch. Meanwhile, we are awaiting a blockbuster ruling from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Hanging in the balance, a law that would allow Texas to arrest and deport illegal immigrants.
The Biden administration is fighting the bill. It says the law would burden local law enforcement while causing more chaos and confusion. Texas officials say the White House has left them no choice.
The U.S.-Mexico border is no longer a world border. People from all over the world are exploiting the border here to make entry into the United States illegally.
Oh, that's not good.
Team Fox coverage now. Carl Rove is on deck, but first let's go to Nate Foy. He is live again in Eagle Pass, Texas for us this morning. Nate.
John, Dana, good morning. So a decision from a 3-judge panel could come at any moment regarding the immediate future of Senate Bill 4, which again allows Texas to arrest and deport migrants without turning them over to Border Patrol. But absent that law taking effect, that's exactly what happened. And the migrants are given a notice to appear in immigration court. But a new report shows since President Joe Biden took office, DHS is responsible for 200,000 deportation cases being thrown out because that didn't happen. Take a look at this video from yesterday. So DHS didn't file the notices to appear before the scheduled court dates. According to the nonpartisan group Track, DHS is backing up the courts by scheduling immigration hearings before the agency is actually capable of filing the notice to appear. Right now, there are over 3 million pending immigration cases. DHS can restart the process after its mistake. But according to Track, that only happened 25% of the time. And the migrants that you see here crossed into Yucumba, California yesterday, 150 of them. Right now, illegal crossings are down in Texas. As we await that ruling on SB 4, the immediate ruling, John, will determine if Texas can enforce the law over the next 2 weeks. Then the overall law, the constitutionality of it, will be considered on April 3rd.
Wow.
So before I give it to you, Jen, you can already see they're accelerating the process. Instantaneously, 200,000 people that would have eventually got deported are now here legally.
Wow.
Or until they're caught up with again or whatever, but the paperwork that was on them to be adios is gone. Coincidence?
No, it's failing. It was designed to fail. It's so sad. They're overwhelmed, and you can't be mad at the border control. You can't be mad at anyone except the guy who set this whole stupid plan up. And it was not well thought out unless it was, and this is their plan. And the more how many papers did they lose? 200,000 papers and all the stuff in the beginning. It's overwhelming. And all I can think of, because I'm obsessed with this show, is Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay. I was like feeling the overwhelming that the border guards have. And I was like, shut it down now. Just forget the whole thing. I don't know how you could shut it down. I mean, inhumanely, you could. They got napalms. That's disgusting. But they also have machine guns. It would be easy to shut it down. But they can't because they have their hands, or at least one hand, tied behind their back with this administration. And I shouldn't even call it administration. It's a regime. What they're doing in Washington is a regime. It is very, very, very communist. You can't do this. But they are. Was I not nice? Pardon me. That was not a
No, I'm just reading the comments someone got up here. We're all entitled to our opinions. We really are. But moving right along as we do. So, Letitia James, my
Mm.
girl Letitia.
Oh,
Boss
dear.
James is what I call her. It seems that she is into the business of letting people know what people's property values are worth and all of this stuff. But we already see what's taking place. I got billionaires you're going to be hearing from later in the broadcast to break it down to all y'all. Not personally here, but you know what I'm talking about. But it seems that $18 million. See, this when you know she dumb and she can't add. She said Mar-A-Lago is worth 18 million or something like that. Letitia, I'm gonna give you a little bit of cushion. She said it was worth $20 million, Mar-A-Lago. So I've been doing a little research because I wanted to know what's the actual and factual on Mar-A-Lago. And boy, does Letitia James come up a couple of digits short. Well, she's a couple of digits short from a buck in the brain anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and play this. Y'all enjoy the walkthrough and the brief history, and then we're going to talk about it.
Golden details, intricate architecture, and surprising VIP guests. Donald Trump's Mar-A-Lago is a sun-kissed castle hosting 126 rooms and is home to one of the most groundbreaking accusations to be made of a former U.S. president. What's the magic behind its grandeur and mystery that keeps everyone talking about it? Let's take a look. Ever wonder what $10 million from the 80s could lead to? Palm Beach's Mar-A-Lago was a 1924 gem owned by serial heiress Marjorie Merriweather Post, who willed it to the U.S. government upon her death in 1973. However, the government returned it to the Post Foundation within 8 years due to its high maintenance cost. Trump initially offered $28 million for the property, which was declined. However, the property value went down, and he was able to purchase the castle for just around $5 million, and all the antiques and furniture for an additional $3 million in 1985. Today, it stands proud with a staggering valuation of $350 million. Behind its golden...
If y'all want to see the rest, you already know. Go watch the history of Mar-A-Lago.
Wow.
$350 million.
And Letitia, yeah, what'd she say? 20?
18 something, but 300. I'm so glad the American people get to see what Donald Trump is going through. Jen, I don't know. Sound like a broken record. I can't believe.
Twilight Zone.
I can't believe we're living in this shit.
Right.
Pardon my French. No, that was English. To see them be able to do this is just, it's just crazy.
It is.
That they are committing all of these crimes right in front of us. Literally.
And we can't do nothing but look away.
There was no victim. The Deutsche banks, they made money. They want to do business with them again. And see, this is the thing. The Dons got the money. It's not about the money. It's about the principle. Don got the money, and this ain't about putting Don in the poorhouse because they know they're not gonna break him. This is about just trying to rob somebody. Literally, they doing it Gotti style. And break him so he can't run, but they can't even do that. So this is all, it's all for nothing, basically. It's not going nowhere. You know, it's for people that don't understand, let me break it down a little for you. What they're trying, they are trying to take his shit in order for him just to appeal. They want him to pay all this shit just to appeal. And this is the question you got to ask yourself. Suppose he sell not all his shit, but suppose he sell some assets. Suppose he sell a golf course. Suppose he sell towers or whatever. Well, he's not going to sell them. They just going to take them or whatever, and they'll rename them, whatever. But suppose he does that and then wins the appeal.
Wow.
How he's going to get his shit back?
2 years, 3 years. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You'll never get it back. See, that's the thing. It's unlawful. You don't make somebody pay to appeal. You appeal, and then if they lose the appeal, then they got to pay. See, they're trying to get in his pockets. They're trying to get in his pockets. See, but when you got, he's already got the money. That's in another show. You got my man from Home Depot. You got my man from Shark Tank. Let me. I ain't gonna show their videos, but let me get their names real quick so you can go look them up and see what they say and how they getting ready to back my boy. Where's the Billionaire Club? Do I got the Billionaire Club on the list? I thought I had the Billionaire Club on the list. Not right now, but he got the money. He's got the money coming in. Kevin O'Leary, from Shark Tank, billionaire. Don Peoples, former Obama fundraiser. No, he's not a billionaire. He's just talking about how what they're doing to him is messed up. But yeah, and the man from Home Depot and all these other places. So Donald ain't got nothing to worry about. This is all crazy. I can't even believe we're dealing with it. But you know who is guilty. You know who is guilty because damn it, we got receipts. We got the receipts. So just for the entertainment and for my platform purposes and things of that nature, I'm gonna have to play this just so I can keep it for my records. Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. We're gonna have a little receipt party. I can't believe the Dems are that stupid.
It's been interesting so far. Let's actually get to the actual paper trail of money flow from the CEFC into the bank account for President Joe Biden. And I want to start with a text message, July 31, WhatsApp text message between Hunter Biden and one Mr. Zhao. Real quick, Mr. Bobulinski, who is Mr. Zhao?
Congressman Donalds, I'd just actually like to spend 20 seconds. If you noticed, Congressman Khanna scurried out of here very quickly, and I'm actually disgusted as I sit here that he didn't address me based on the fact that I'm sitting here in front of the world trying to testify to the truth. In October 2020, I have messages I'm willing to produce to both the Democrats and the Republicans that Ro Khanna sent to me saying, you have always demonstrated to me that you're nothing but an honest with the highest integrity individual. And I was begging for him to go on CNN and tell the world in October 2020. I have extensive emails with Congressman Ro Khanna in 2021 and 2022, where I begged him and his staff to sit down with me and look at my BlackBerry phones that the Democrats are so focused on, to hire forensics experts and go through all of the factual information I had. The fact that he did not even address me and then scurried out of here is disgusting to me.
All right.
Sorry, Mr. Donalds. I'll answer your question now.
All right, so we're gonna have to come off of that because now we're at 3 minutes 30 seconds.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I want to submit into the record 2 different WhatsApp text messages. One, July 31, between Hunter Biden and Mr. Zhao of CEFC, which stipulates that Hunter Biden wants to be able to move on from and get the contract resolved, get the deal resolved, and that Mr. Zhao responds and says, yes, the CEFC is willing to cooperate with the family. On August 31, there's another exchange, this time August 3rd, 2017, between Hunter Biden and Mr. Ganwei Dong. And in this message, they're talking about the stipulations of the arrangement between the Biden family and CEFC. I want to submit both WhatsApp text messages for the record, Mr. Chairman.
Without objection to order.
Okay, now to the money flow, because this is where the rubber meets the road. On August 3rd, they actually stipulate through WhatsApp text messages the exact stipulations of the deal. On August 4th, $100,000 is wired into Owasco PC from CEFC Infrastructure. Mr. Chairman, I want to submit for the record a portion of the bank statement for the time period August 3rd of 2017 to August 31, 2017, stipulating $100,000 going from CEFC into the bank account of Hunter Biden through Owasco PC.
Without objection, so ordered.
On August 8th, 4 days later, $5 million is then transferred from the Northern International Capital account of $5 million to Hudson West III. Hudson West III is a bank account controlled by Hunter Biden and Mr. Gong Wang, aka Kevin Dong, who is a CEFC associate. That money comes from the Northern International Capital bank account that is tied to the CCP. Mr. Chairman, I want to submit for the record the bank statement demonstrating that transfer.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay, moving on. On August 8th, the same time period, there is a wire transfer of $400,000 to Owasco PC from the Hudson West III bank account. That $400,000, Mr. Chairman, I have the transfer records in the bank accounts from the August time period. I want to submit that for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Now, here's where the fun stuff comes in, everybody, and I got a minute to do it, so we're going to get this done. On August 14th, there is $150,000 that is transferred from Owasco PC, which is controlled by Hunter Biden, to Lion Hall Group, which is controlled by James Biden. I have the records here, Mr. Chairman, of the $150,000 that's gone to Lion Hall Group from Owasco PC. I want to submit that for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
On August 28th, and I believe we have a screenshot for everybody in the room. On August 28th, Mr. Chairman, we have the withdrawal ticket from Lion Hall Group that is signed by Sarah Biden, who is the wife of Jim Biden, for $50,000 to withdraw from Lion Hall Group. I want to submit that withdrawal receipt for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
On September 3rd, on August 28th, actually, Mr. Chairman, we have the deposit reference into Sarah Jones Biden's account on the same day she withdrew it from Lion Hall. I want to submit that.
Without objection, so ordered.
Last document. On September 3rd, 2007, from Sarah Biden's own personal account, there is a check that is written to Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., the president of the United States today, for $40,000 signed loan repayment, a loan repayment, by the way, that Joe Biden's own personal accountant, Mr. Eric Schwerin, has no record for.
He keeps getting paid 10%. Oh my God, it's so obvious.
This is the thing, Jen. If I borrow some money, if I borrow some money for you, and say you give me $5,000, right? And I do what I need to do, and I'm getting ready to give you $5,000. I am not gonna write you a check, put it in the mail, and send it to you. You know what I'm gonna do, Jen? I'm gonna wire it from my account to your account. I'm gonna do a bank transaction.
Right.
And then to deliberately put loan payment.
Oh my gosh, right?
How obvious. See, but when you have simple-minded people, when you deal with people that's used to writing with crayons other than pens and pens, this is what you get. When you try to cover up so good and be so perfect to cross your T's and dot your I's, you have a tendency of going overboard.
Yeah.
These are family members. I wish I would write my mama a check. I'd be like, Mama, I'm putting the money in your account. What the hell I look like going up there writing a check and putting it on the kitchen counter? She gonna look at me like, dude, you couldn't put this in my account? Now I gotta go to the bank. And knowing my mama, she'll look at me and be like, you got the money in the account. You just trying to write me.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy what we're dealing with. But I still got a question. Let's see if anybody can answer this question. I'm gonna put. We're almost done, but I got a question for all of them. If it ain't true, can somebody just answer? Just, 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 just answer that right there. Let me get me and Jen back on the screen. As I had already alluded, we have discussed and agreed the following remuneration packages. Chair, vice chair, depending on agreement, CFC, Hunter Biden, 850, all that good. James Biden, Rob, Jim unknown. We know who Jim is. Sam, whoever. But this is the interesting part that has got me. At the moment, there is a provisional agreement that the equity will be distributed as follows. You got 20 for H. Who's up? Got 20 for I don't know who. You got 20 for I don't know who. You got another 20 for I don't know who. But the one I want to focus on is that Tony Bobulinski. I believe so.
Oh.
And then we got 10% for Jim. But see, all that other stuff is mute right now. It's mute. What I want to know, because we already know H is Hunter. So it says 10% held by H, who we now know to be Hunter Biden, for the big guy. I just want to know who the hell the big guy is. Because they have still not propped up anybody to be the big guy, fall guy. And that's what I've been waiting for. Because maybe like, no, I haven't forgotten that email. It's just a small part of a bigger piece of the pie, but it's a very important and piece of the pie. Who is the big guy? But like I tell the people, why am I sitting here racking my brain about something I already know? Mr. Green Thumb in Ottawa. Hey guys from Canada, corrupt as fuck too. I feel you, bro. I feel you. It is corrupt. And I don't know. But we're gonna end it on a good note, Jen.
Yes.
So it seems that, and I'm not even going to say it. This is so good. Just when you think you thought something was going some way, and then I think this person had to change of heart too. But I'm gonna let him talk about it. But look, these people don't want to talk about it, but they got to, because they know it's gonna come out sooner or later.
I'm in Fulton County, Georgia, where Judge Scott McAfee has granted an appeal to his decision related to the disqualification of Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Nicole Killian is joining us now to talk more about this. Nicole, are you there? All right, she's there. So
She's there on the phone, I think, maybe.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're on the phone. All right. So tell us what comes next.
So what comes next is that this could potentially go up to the Georgia Supreme Court. Obviously, this is a decision that was just granted by Judge Scott McAfee, and this comes in the wake of his ruling last Friday, where essentially he gave District Attorney Fonnie Willis an ultimatum: either she get off the case, or her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, that she hired, needed to withdraw. And of course, this was in light of those allegations surrounding their relationship. And so what we saw, of course, on Friday was that Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor, stepped down. But then the defense attorneys who brought the original complaint against the district attorney filed an appeal. And they said that Nathan Wade stepping down was not sufficient. And that's why they wanted to appeal Judge McAfee's ruling. And so what we saw today was that Judge McAfee granted that appeal.
So it looks like the judge might have had a little conscience problem once he got home. Because obviously he was all for letting her stay on, because you know they birds of a feather, they work in the, but all of a sudden a flip of a switch. Oh no, you got y'all go ahead and appeal this shit. Go ahead, come on, appeal it. Judge McAfee, make up your mind. Do you want her off the case? Do you want her off the case? Oh, you didn't want to make it look so obvious. Riding the fence. Just like my man Stephen A was doing. He's like, man, I ain't trying to look like the bad guy. So y'all just gonna have to get this shit done on appeal. I'm gonna make it look good. I'm gonna keep on. But y'all just go ahead and come on, appeal this shit. We get her off. Because he could have said no. He already made the decision to keep her. So then why would he go along with the appeal? He didn't care about what the decision made him look like initially. So what would make me think he would give a damn about how he would look if he said, no, I'm going to deny your appeal? He got a twitch of conscience in him when he got off.
Or blackmail. I know. You're right. You're right. Wow.
Blackmail by who? The only one I can see blackmailing him is his wife.
Yeah.
Because
Oh my
she
God.
hold the prize. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh my gosh.
Because literally, if you think about it in the big scheme of things, with these evil people, he was supposed to slam the door on it. Not even leave the window open. But he said, let me open the window for you. I can't let you in the front door.
Oh God.
Because it'd be too
Right.
obvious.
Right.
Come around the kitchen.
Shifty.
Now, I'm not saying what I'm saying is actual and factual. It's just my opinion. It's
Right.
just my opinion. But yeah, the Dems, they are some dumb people. Remember, you know how we say, once you press send, you can't get it back. They got receipts flying all around. And Stephen A said it best, because he gets it. He basically said, you crooked motherfuckers ain't gonna do nothing. So they just throwing all this out because we're gonna convict you in the court of public opinion. It's catching on. You know, it's like that new song that come out and everybody ain't quite heard it yet. It's catching on. And Stephen A ain't doing nothing but blasting it at full volume. And keep doing it, Stephen A. I ain't gonna always agree with everything you say, bro, but right now, you're in my good gracious. So keep doing what you're doing, because I know when they come for that paycheck and they come for your time slot, you might be. That's why I got you on video, bro. Got you on video. You can't go back now.
We got you.
But it kills me how people still, after they come out and already describe what we're going through. But I ain't voting for Trump. Listen, Linda. Y'all know how I love to say that. Listen, Linda. You got two options. These are for these Biden people that want to ride the fence. You say you're not voting for Joe Biden. That's clear as a sunny blue sky day. Y'all not voting for him. But then on the other hand, y'all say y'all not voting for Trump. Well, last time I checked, there was only 2 horses in this race.
Yeah.
So, This is a public patriot podcast service announcement. Democrats that hate Joe Biden, please don't go out and vote. I don't want you to go vote. Stick to your guns. Stick to your loins. Stick to your moral compass, because I know you will, because you hate what's going on. And you ain't gotta vote for Donald Trump. That just makes it more obvious and more of a landslide, and will just show that nothing is going to stop this man.
Right.
We don't need your vote. Donald Trump has the vote of Mega Nation, which last time I checked was, well, a couple years ago was half the country. And I'll take half of the half that are fed up.
Right.
Okay? The other percentage, do whatever you do. Vote for JFK. Vote for Tupac. Rest in peace, dog. I don't care. Vote for Snoop. I don't care. We don't need your vote. But you'll benefit from our vote.
Right.
And I don't care. I'm not a selfish person. What we got, Green Thumb. This is for Jen. Can you read? Do you get anything on your screen?
Yes, I do. They think the price is right. Let's see that. I need my glasses, but yes.
Receipt. The next thing they will say is, oh, it's race. Is that race? Racist?
The receipts are non-relevant.
Relevant. They're already saying that shit.
Shame on them. Yeah, you know what? If they do that, they're just protecting themselves from an affidavit, because we know the law. We know the laws. We've been talked about Article 4, Section 4. Like that video you showed the other day with AOC, when she's like, show me what he did. What did he do? I'm like, oh my gosh, there is not enough time. We just saw all the receipts or the checks, and then we don't know who the big guy is, but for some reason he just got 10%. Wonder where that came from. But I wanted to say one more thing, Ray. I apologize. I did not intend to be so hostile and violent about the illegal immigrants coming in. I see them pouring in and running up against the fence, and the military guys are yelling at them. And
what are you apologizing for?
No, I'm apologizing. I was violent about that because
you're supposed to be. You're pissed. We need those soccer moms. Enough is enough.
I'm upset. I'm over baseball, but that's okay. Anyhow, I am far more upset because what you see up on the surface is also happening below in tunnels as they're going after the children. And that is where my heart is. And so when I see them, I see an imminent threat, as well as what they're doing that you can't see. That is just a hint of the trafficking. And that is why he's doing this. After talking to that lady who has been
Bonnie Johnson.
Awesome lady. Yeah. She's been fighting.
You need to get with her and bring her on.
Oh, she's awesome. I did a show with her and I was asking her questions, but it kind of took off a turn and it went into the trafficking of women and people, even men. They are trafficking everybody. It's disgusting because they are making so much money off of this miserable drug. And I hate to say, I can't stand it, because you can't just get this drug without murdering somebody. Adrenochrome. And that's why all these politicians, not all of the politicians, but the elites, or as I like to call them, the parasites, because they're not elite. They're parasites. They eat off of other people, literally. When you think of the adrenochrome, what the heck? And then Hillary Clinton, she held her age for a very long time, and she said she just had a really good makeup lady, and then she would look really bad sometimes. And I'm like, what, did her makeup lady quit or get Clinton sided. I'm sorry, that was bad. But people get Clinton sided. It was crazy. And Nancy Pelosi lately, I'm like, wow, she's not working at the White House anymore. She must not be getting money for her Estee Lauder because girlfriend looks so bad. And I thought, oh dear God, maybe she's taking that adrenochrome too. It's sick. They are
A lot of
killing
people take the Madonna, from what I hear.
Oh.
All of them people take that stuff, man. It's like, I don't know.
God. You after
I've
murder.
heard so much stuff. Drinking the blood and sacrificing all this is.
Oh dear God, I know.
Ooh, I don't know.
And when we blow it off, like it was during the rise of ISIS back, what was it, 10 years ago? But when they were really prevalent, they were having their beheadings over on the beach, and everyone's in a orange jumpsuit or something before they behead them. And I'm thinking, you can't just blow this off. Beheading kills you, like dead forever. And the way they say, oh, but we do have this book, and I don't hate the Muslims. Neither does God. God has, and I didn't get to bring this up last time we talked about this because I think we were talking to someone who does not like them at all. But I'm telling you, God has a heart for them. Even when Ishmael was kicked out of the tent, him and Hagar, the concubine of Abraham, he still has Abraham's blessing. It sucks, but he does. Because there was a blessing over Sarah's child, who's supposed to be Isaac, but she made an Ishmael, and Hagar, her servant, had Ishmael. And there is a verse in Genesis, I believe it's either 2017 or it's in the 17. It's by Genesis 17, book 17 to 20. And Hagar and Ishmael are in the desert and they're crying. And they're like, well, now what do? We just die here. And God hears them. And he says, no, you are going to be the father of many nations, which he is, the Palestine. And he says, you're going to be wild as a jackass. And you're going to, everyone is going to come against you. And I'm thinking, because there's no point of redemption yet. This is in Genesis. Jesus hasn't come yet. But there are very many Muslims who have converted and they are seeing visions of Jesus. Even the people in Gaza, they're Palestinians or whatever they are, they're not Jews and they're not Christians, but they are seeing visions of Jesus and they are saying, oh my gosh, you don't know what I did. And then they feel a hand on their shoulder and he says, I forgive you. And I'm like, oh my God, if that is not how you influence a nation and turn people around. So there's this, I don't know his name, but he's out there. There's many of them, and they are converted Muslims. And I'm not radicalized, but converted. And I thought, it's not like anybody is without hope. There's no one out there who is hopeless. And I'm sorry if I portrayed a lot of hatred. Didn't mean to portray hatred, but I hate the situation. I can't stand it, and I can't stand this people trafficking. Oh dear God. It's sick. It's purely demonic. And I'll just shut up because this is your show. I love you. Thanks for having me.
Oh no, you're okay. We see the madness. We see the madness. But one thing that I do like, Jen, is when I can still, I'm not going to say why for the life of me people are still Democrats. I'm not going to do that because all Democratic people are not evil, even though I need more of them to come out and just be honest with the whole situation. And that's why I love listening to some legal minds that haven't. Y'all hear the Trump train going by. That's country living for you right there.
I love it.
All aboard. One more time. There we go. But I love it when every Democrat isn't like Stephen A. Smith. And we'll just go ahead, and this will be the last video, and then we will go ahead and land this plane. But this gives me hope.
battles as a New York judge is ordering the courts to keep an eye on his organization's finances for 3 years. I mean, they already have a monitor there. Meanwhile, New York Attorney Letitia James filing judgment in Westchester County, home to one of Trump's golf courses and a private estate. It could be the property seized if Trump doesn't secure a $454 million bond in 3 days' time or gets it knocked down because it's up for appeal. News contributor George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley. Jonathan, your thoughts as we count down till Monday?
Well, you know, what's interesting, Brian, is that you would think that this monitoring would have been the entirety of the remedy. If the court was really concerned about whether Trump would be honest in future dealings, they could have just imposed a monitor. Instead, he imposes this ridiculous amount of penalty on Trump. He could have picked any figure because none of us can make sense out of this. He could have said $1 trillion, and he just sits back and watches the defendant scramble to have to sell off properties in order to protect properties. And, you know, this is going to eventually have to go to some judge who's going to say enough. I mean, this really shocks the conscience. You should not have to sell off your property at fire sale prices in order just to get anyone to look at the judgment of this one judge.
Do you have a sense? So what people should understand, it gets confusing, is that this is the judge says he owes $454 million because he was not candid with banks and insurance companies. Okay, fine. But he does, I don't trust that judgment. I want this appealed. They said, okay. But in the meantime, to appeal it, we're going to make you come up with $454 million in a bond. And the bond companies don't want to lend it because you need cash in order to get a bond. And he has stuff. He has real estate. Real estate can't be used as collateral unless it's liquidated. Right. So all this is an impossible scenario. So now it's up to a judge to say, agree with most people who are logical and say, we got to knock this down to something. And they're asking for $100 million. Do you think he has a shot of this to getting the majority of these five panel judge to say that?
I hope he does, because what's happening to the New York legal system is truly alarming. This was one of the premier systems in the world for businesses, and now people are fleeing New York. They see what's happening here, and you know, this is a judge who could have resolved this. You know, he could have come up with an easy solution. You know, this is just because of Trump's portfolio being real estate. It's the nature of his business, but those are fixed assets. Trump Towers isn't going to go anywhere. He's not going to abscond with it. They could take the $100 million that he's offered and then take other agreements that he won't sell or change his interest in these fixed assets. That anyone looking at that would say, well, yeah, that seems fair. But that's not the profile of this case. This judge has done nothing to introduce any element of fairness through this. And so you're really between a rock and a hard place. If you're Donald Trump, you've got a portfolio with real estate, and people don't take real estate in order to float a bond.
And as Mark Cuban said, when you're in a zero interest rate environment, very few people keep cash around. Smart investors invest it in things, and he is not a fan of Donald Trump. So let's move on and talk about your column on FoxNews.com. You looked at what's happened in the case with Hunter Biden. You saw Bob Alinsky's testimony. You saw Dan Goldman ridiculously try to engage him, get the answers he didn't want, and try to move on. You saw AOC make incredible, outrageous accusations, and Bob Alinsky knocked that down too. And you've come to this conclusion. One of the lines that really stood out. As a lifelong Democrat from a politically active Chicago family, I can no longer recognize the party from my youth. We once stood for something other than the next election or hating others. Can you expand on that?
Well, I don't know how we got to this point as the Democratic Party. You know, this is a party that is now actively supporting censorship and blacklisting. It's a party that has supported ballot cleansing and court packing. It's a party where you've got people like former Senator McCaskill calling witnesses Putin lovers because they're appearing against the Biden administration. You have Democratic members who are saying that you are a Russian fellow traveler if you raise questions related to the Biden corruption scandal. And at some point, you have to ask, well, what have we become? I mean, what do we stand for? it's unrecognizable for many of us who've been lifelong Democrats. We used to stand for something. And now it just appears that it's about the next election, or it's about hating Trump more than loving other values like free speech. And I think free speech is the thing that has caused many of us, who I guess you are of the old timers, that have really have a sense of alarm. The Democratic Party used to treat free speech as one of the defining values of the party. The Democratic Party is now an anti-free speech party. It is.
I play Jonathan Turley because I can respect a man that stands on the aisle of Democrats, but is not afraid to call out the bullshit, the hypocrisy, the lies.
Right.
Me, I leave you alone. I no toleration for liars and thieves and well, he does what he do, I do what I do. But he is if he's genuine about what he says, there's hope.
Right.
He sees right through it, Jen, and he's not making excuses for him. And like he says, as a lifelong Democrat, this is not the Democratic Party that I remember. This is not the America that I remember. This is not what I see for myself, my family, and the future of this country, what my party is doing right now. And it's people like him that can hopefully change his party. Because it ain't no longer my party. Give me once, shame on you. Give me twice, shame on me. You ain't gonna give me again. What do you think?
I think that karma is a bummer. I won't even say it, but it's bad. These judges, New York, they've got, they're really sowing a mess. They're going to have to reap because what they're doing man, Trump must really love the country because what they're doing is insane, and it's going to come back to them fourfold, if not more. So, yeah, I think the best thing they can do is just repent, shut up, move out, go, just go. I can't even. It's bad. God bless Donald Trump, and I just hope that him and his family are protected. I pray that him and his family are protected, and not hoping, I'm praying. It's bad.
I guess that's all we can do.
They're
I guess
ruthless.
that's all we can do. Well, we had a great show today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I will be back on tonight for Friday Night Liberals Smackdown. I still got a host of topics I didn't get through yet because I couldn't fit everything into my screen thing. It picks up little boxes, and I learned don't fill it all up because if you zap it, you fill it all up, you make a mistake somewhere. So I keep it spread out.
Awesome.
But yeah, I thank everybody for tuning in, Jen. I don't know what else to say. Man, this is crazy what we're dealing with. We are. How old are your kids, Jen?
My oldest one is 25, and my youngest one just turned 16. There's 5 of them, and
Okay.
yeah.
Do they ever tell you like, "Mommy, you're gonna stress yourself out doing this"?
No, I think I already passed that point. It's okay. They're like, "Why do you have to read these boring things and you wouldn't be asked to go on these shows?" I'm like, "'Cause I love boring things." I'm
But
like,
they see what you're they see what you're doing. They see the big picture.
yes, yes. And
How
they're patriots. Pardon me. Go ahead.
do I'm and I say this because kids have a different outlook on life than us old people do. Do they just sit back and be like, we know this isn't normal, or is this really what we can do in America, Mommy? Because you teach them wrong and right, and they can go anywhere, numerous things, and find evil, wrong stuff being done. What is? Do they look at you, mom, and be like, "When is this all going to be over, mommy?" Because they recognize it's between good and evil, or are they just still? I know you got different age ranges, or are they just going on with life and really not aware, unless they hear you and be like, "Why is mom freaking out?" I don't know.
No, they know. The oldest one, who's 25, diehard, patriot. I mean, he made this whole game up the day. My gosh, it was probably 5 years ago. More. It was before Trump. My gosh, it's 10 years ago. I don't know, but it was when Biden was up there, and it had to have been within the last 5, when he said any amendment can be, what did he say? Any amendment can be, ratified or
Yeah.
rewritten. Yeah, that he flew off the handlebars yelling at the television, "No, they can't. Do you know how har" because he I bring we Jesse and I bring him with us to these, COS, it's Convention of States,
Right.
because they have their meetings at Idaho pizza places, and we're
Right.
like, "There's another meeting." So sometimes, the oldest will come, the youngest one always does. She's like, "I like pizza." And so we go there, and it is so hard to ratify. You cannot just change
No.
an
No.
amendment, because
No.
we're really trying to get this thing called the Convention of States, where you get three-thirds, what, two-thirds majority, three-thirds. That would be nice. Two-thirds majority of the states have to be in unison to get ratify and just get this meeting. Because they're trying to do three things. They're trying to stop the spending of the federal government, enforce term limits, and then the third thing is so important, I forgot. But anyhow, we got to get this Convention of States to try to get this crazy train back and get our nation. So they do
Right.
know we're involved in that. They love to go to the meetings. And wow, when that happened with Biden on national television saying we just have to ratify an amendment, you cannot do that. And that's when he really got plugged in. Now, the second one, I don't think he knows what's going on. The third one, wow, no, he's just they all work, and they're good workers, and he's like, "Mom, you got to stop or you're going to get stressed out." And I'm like, "Just give me some wine. It's okay. I'll be fine." And so I'm teasing. I'm not a lush. It's just very relaxing. And the youngest one, oh, the two girls, they're the youngest, and the 16-year-old and then the 20-year-old. And the 16-year-old, she's the one that really gets worried and stressed. And it's sad. So she's not home right now. I think they're shopping. And the other one, she likes that she knows what to say. She's a barista. She works at a coffee shop. And so
Right.
when people come in, they ask her questions, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And so she just goes through the whole spiel, and they're like, "So are you going to vote for Trump?" And she's like, "But of course." And it's so funny. So yeah, there's
Well,
three.
see, that's why I try not to get frustrated, because I'm tired of hearing the people that I'm not voting for Biden, but I'm damn sure ain't voting for Trump. What are we doing?
Why? I know. Who's got the best plan? Are you better off now than you were 5 years ago? And if you are, you're probably an immigrant. But seriously, that was the best statement that I think Reagan said it. Are you better off now than you were 5 years ago? No, we were doing great 5 years ago, 4 years, 3 years. Everyone was doing great. It's ridiculous. And
And they
so
still can't come up with nothing other than Orange Man bad. I mean, you heard Stephen A. earlier. If you like, share, subscribe, ring that bell so you can get them instant notifications. We're about to land this. But earlier we played Stephen A. Smith, who's is riding the fence. As Jen explained it, he's having a inter struggle.
wow, true.
His heart and mind want to speak the truth, but he's been trained to go with the narrative of these evil dwellers. So he's having that inner conflict with himself. But This is crazy, man. I forgot what I was talking about. I got off into Stephen A. Smith.
We were talking about my kids being patriots and
Yeah.
how the youngest one, they're fearful. It's a scary time.
Well, especially the daughter, I would be too, because she's dealing with a lot, especially with, you know, she don't want a guy to come in her bathroom.
Ooh, I know. And she does go to public school. She goes, it's called dual school. It's this form. Yeah, because she's sings beautifully. She's in 10th grade and she's advancing to like the senior girls soprano choir next year because she just has a beautiful voice. And yeah, they don't do that in Idaho. It's a very red state, and the boys do not use the girls' bathrooms. They tell
If
them
some
you're
boy seen a boy go in the girls' bathroom, I'm sure things would get handled a lot differently. You'd be seeing a different story on the news. Kids whoop boy ass trying to go into the female bathroom, because I know that's what happened in Tennessee. You ain't gonna have that shit.
right. Yeah,
But
it doesn't make sense.
these blue cities, these liberal cities, y'all got a choice to make. Y'all got a choice to make. Good afternoon, David Navarre. Y'all have a choice to make, because whether y'all want to admit it now or not, or believe it or not, well, I think y'all believe it. Y'all see it and believe it. They trying to make y'all cities strongholds to where it could never be changed. Y'all gonna wind up moving down here. Hey, we got plenty of land down in Tennessee. The South has so much land. I always, Jen, wonder when I'm driving through the country, I'm like, wow, all of this, like acres and millions of acres, just clear land and hills. And then I think about these people up north living in all these cities up on top of one another. Smart people get ready to get the heck up out of there. And I know that because they building like crazy. I'm like, wow. I've seen 500 homes go up. I've seen 10 housing communities, duplex communities.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, where are they thinking they going to get all these people from? They just willing to lose money? No, I like me and my wife talk. No, people names already on these things. And the cities are about to be depleted with the hardworking, everyday American that just wants to live in safety, in peace, be able to, well, see, I don't know how the states can't regulate their own gas. I mean, could they? Could states automatically be like, hey, we ain't charging over this amount for gas?
I think they can do that if they produce it, and I think that they can regulate the taxes on it. But I don't think they're allowed to produce it right now, which is so sad because America is sitting on like a dinosaur. We have so much oil, especially Alaska, Texas, and Pennsylvania.
And
Those
what
are
did Sleepy Joe do? What did Papa do, though, Jen, when he came into office?
shut down that pipeline. My God, the XL pipeline. You know who was the most mad about it besides all the people that had invested in it and that were going to work along what 14 states or it was crazy. Canada was so mad at us because they were going to produce the petroleum distillates or ore to send it down to the Gulf where they would put it in a refinery and make it into gasoline. And so we had all of these futures purchased and, notes for Canada. They were going to be so rich. Gosh, Trudeau wanted that so bad. And then all of a sudden Biden gets in there and he's like, no, we don't need that. And then didn't he say he blew up the
XL pipeline?
Yeah, something over in Russia. And I was like, oh my God, shut up. Don't tell anyone that. Please don't say that. It was
it
was bad.
They really oh man. I don't know. I guess I'm like you. I just gotta sit back and shut up because they're really trying to do us in. They're really trying to do us in. Wow. Where do we go from here, America? Only God knows, because I damn sure don't. Jen, you got any last words?
No, just stick to. This sounds so bad. Stick to your guns. Meaning, stay true. Stay true to yourself. You got it. Where it's
And
like,
if you ain't got no guns to stick to, I
buy
suggest
some.
you go out and get a couple.
Because you never know. Yeah, it's good. But wow, it's
No,
great.
what?
Yes.
What do you mean you never know?
You
Jen,
do. I know.
we're gonna have to take our country back.
Amen. Be protected and yeah. And what is? Oh, I know that guy. I love him. Teddy Roosevelt. Walk softly, but carry a big stick. And if it happens to be a long gun, that's awesome.
All right, good deal. People, patriots, wherever you consider yourself to be, thank you for tuning in for a great Friday afternoon conversation. Checks and balances. We got the receipts, Democrats. We got the receipts. Thank you. In the meantime, in between time, see you tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. For me and Jen, homeschooling mom.
Bye-bye.
That's it.